set fire to the world.
Hello all of you little demons, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, back again with another episode of the awesomely named and awfully hosted Choose Your Own Adventure, the weekly medieval themed format where I, the crown Jules of WhatCulture.com, take a list chosen by you. Yes, you, the person whose cats meow at the door every bloody week. Father, let me in, Father, let me in, and then I let you in, and then you go straight back out again. Yes, you get to decide what list I dole out to you each and every week. And this week we have none other to thank than Tom Van Beek for their suggestion of missable party members who were in side quests and you just went past them and they were like, oh, wait, I don't get to play with them anymore. I've tried to compile that into a sort of more YouTube-friendly title. So today we're going to be looking at optional party members that you only had one chance to grab. And here's the thing, you got to look at situations sometimes and say to yourself, boy, it sure would be a lot better with friends helping me out here. I've got a gun made of evil with a bullet made of nefarious aimed at my chrome dome. If I had a few mates here to untie these dastardly binding things that I've got, those little plastic straps that you use to tie people up. I'm not saying that I've used that in the past, I'm just saying that I'm getting off point here. Having friends is good. Is that a good segue, James? I feel like the wheels have come off this already.
Yeah, it's not looking good, is it?
Yeah, Osley going has definitely impacted things somewhat. But luckily, we have found a replacement. Jazz, how you doing? James? You might want to deal with that. Anyway, with this in mind, I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 7 party members that you only had one chance to get. And say hi to me here in the live chat as you usually do, you saucy little teapots, and pop your comments down below for what you want to see in next week's episode. Anyway, let's get on with the list. Number 7, Yuffie, Final Fantasy VII. So, with the recent announcement that the very fighty but kind of flighty ninja from the Wu-Tai clan Yuffie will be getting her own standalone expansion for the fantastic Final Fantasy VII Remake, what better time than now than to take a look at how so many people actually managed to not get her as part of their party. Because when you're out on the charming and rather grandiose world map of Final Fantasy VII and pass through a wooded area, there's a low chance that instead of taking on one of the fantastical beasts residing within, that Yuffie, the ninja of the Wu-Tai region, will pop up instead. Now the battle with her is pretty straightforward, with her insults and ability to run away with some of your money usually stinging more than her attacks. But should you be able to best her in combat, you'll be presented with some dialogue options that serve as the final test to recruit her to the party. It's a pretty funny back and forth between the characters as she gets more and more annoyed by Cloud's rather dickish attitude towards her. She basically says that she's the best around, and he's just like, nah, I can't be asked to fight you again. Nah, I've got things to do. I left kettle on and telly on, and the cat needs to go out for a piss. And I just don't want to fight a 16-year-old girl. It's got bad vibes. Oh, go on, fight me again. Nah. She's just like, oh, come and join you. She gets Stockholm Syndrome straight away. But you know what? Yuffie is a brilliant character, full of peppy energy and possesses the brilliant ability to steal from enemies with a pretty high chance of success. But you know what? Many players missed out on this entirely, as while her encounter rate does climb more and more the longer that you don't meet her, it's still very possible to bypass her battle by sheer chance and then fudge the dialogue scene so that she scarpers with your cash, resetting the encounter rate all over again. Number 6, Deneb, Tactics Ogre, let us cling together. So, if you wanted to recruit Deneb to your party, and why wouldn't you, seeing as she is thick with 2 C's and a witch with 2 C's as well, then you can do so, but be prepared for a long old ride, my friend, because the requirements to unlock one of 2 of her versions are both extremely bizarre and quite exhausting. So for the vanilla Deneb, you first need to unlock her shop, which skips from location to location randomly. Because of course it does. So to do this, you need to get to chapter 4 and read a note explaining more about who she is, then head to the store. Once there, you need to purchase 99 items from her wares, upon which you'll be met with a join button. Whew, right, well, our coffers might be a little bit empty, but at least now our party roster is looking a little bit more swollen. So let's test her out in battle. Oh, she sucks. She sucks real bad. Why? Why have I gone through all of this effort for this? Oh, and the best part, or worst, as I should have said, is that now her shop is completely inaccessible because no one else is running it. Cool! Okay, let's have a do-over. So, to unlock a better Deneb, follow the same steps as before, but before accepting her offer, go to Hell Gate and fight enemies there until you found 10 rare items called glass pumpkins. Take them back to Deneb and sell them to her, then recruit 10 pumpkin head allies, and boom! Now select Join, and you will have a mighty mage capable of utterly breaking the game with her Nova spell and rocking much better stats. Meaning that the first version of this is less let's cling together and more let's just push her into the bloody bin where she belongs. But the second one, oh baby, give daddy a hug. That was weird. No, okay, moving on. Number 5, Rue, Streets of Rage 3. Thank God for Streets of Rage 4. Am I right? This basically acted as a swift uppercut to the plums of anyone decrying that genre of side-scrolling beat-em-ups was dead, because no, it bloody wasn't, my friend. And what a beautiful-looking game. It sounded amazing, and the replayability has stood, but I've got to get over it. But I've got to calm down. Because there was one thing that game was missing. And that was the ability to play as a giant kangaroo that could beat the shit out of anyone that looked at him the wrong way. Yes, I know it sounds like I've officially lost the plot here, but Streets of Rage 3 actually offered players the chance to unlock Rue, or Victi, depending on your region that you were playing in, yet many players actually missed out on this character entirely. So during a boss encounter with Danch, the BDSM clown, he'll set Rue on you while he cowers at the back of the stage, prompting most players to send this poor creature 6 feet down under. But should you ignore this giant mass of fur and fury and instead keep attacking Danch, after the battle, if Rue is still alive, he'll join the party. And Rue is a brilliant character to play as well, because while he does lack the ability to pick up items, because, having boxing gloves on your hand and also being a kangaroo does inhibit that ability somewhat, you do get this amazing jump ability that is far greater than anybody else's, and because he's a giant kangaroo, about 9 foot tall, worth of meat and muscle, he can absolutely power people through with his incredibly high strength attack. It's so much fun to play as him, yet so many people didn't even realise they could. But now, you know. Number 4, Nid, The Banner Saga. The Banner Saga. What a glorious experience. Seriously, everything about this game I absolutely love. The art style is just so meticulously handcrafted and so beautiful, it will make a grown man cry, as will the sweeping and ethereal audioscape that's created for this game's soundtrack, and the fact that it's a turn-based strategy game, which I obviously love because of my huge passion for XCOM. Get it in my veins. Yet there are some downsides to this. Well, not really downsides so much, more bad choices that you can make that can absolutely screw your party over. Because in this game, you can have members of your party die, and sometimes not even get the chance of meeting them should you make some pretty silly decisions. For example, if you don't side with 2 upstarts who are looking to abandon their village, well, say goodbye to Hogan and Mogan. Don't lead your army in the right way, well, Gris isn't going to follow you. The list of missable characters is actually quite shockingly large, but the biggest sting of all is arguably losing Nid without ever realising it. So at one point in the game, Oddleif will approach you asking if she can train the women of the caravan to become archers, and if you're feeling like a less than equal opportunities leader, you can decline the offer. But that's a bad move, as now Nid will never be trained and never be able to be recruited as a party member. And what makes her so impactful is the fact that she has this brilliant ability to shoot beyond the actual range of every other archer's normal attack, meaning that you can hit enemies from a country mile away, whereas other archers are just going, right, I'll just wait for you to get into range, which happens to also be the same range of me getting absolutely twatted, and I'm made of feathers and the collective will of everyone in the room, so it ain't gonna end well. And she's there just going like, take some of that, you dirty slag pile. They're actually called slags, by the way, in this. Not me just being weird. Yes, in a game where enemies deal damage equal to their health, chipping away at this early doors is paramount to victory. So in short, not letting Nid train is like shooting yourself in the foot with a bloody arrow. And speaking of shooting, I think it's time for today's musical interlude. I'm sorry, James, I'm just really, really emotional because of the fact that, as the people will know, we had to say goodbye to Osley. In the last episode of Choose Your Own Adventure, he's gone. He's left WhatCulture. He's gone and doing his own thing now. He's off gallivanting around fields, abducting dogs. I don't know what he does in his spare time. I don't know. So we're dedicating this next musical interlude to him. It's a 21 fun gun salute for the fallen, everyone. James, did you just edit in a fart noise?
Yes, I did.
Well, I'm trying to be emotional about saying goodbye to a dear friend who I've worked with for many years. You put in a fart noise for the gun that I was using for his salute. It's just silly, James, isn't it? You think this is funny? You think that's funny? Yeah, it kind of is, actually. One more for the road. See you later, Rose. Number 3, Metal Slime, Dragon's Quest V. Right, are we all agreed here that pretty much the Dragon Quest series is just a franchise that keeps on giving? Not only are they exceptional examples of fantastical storytelling, but they also offer us a good belly laugh from time to time. One need only look over enemies like the Cruel Cumber, the Puff Puff Ladies Massage, and the reams of silly back and forths between characters to see that this is a series that puts fun front and center of the experience. And that is to say nothing of how brilliant some of the game's mechanics are. For example, are you tired of getting your hands dirty taking on enemies with the old rough and tumble with the old Winchester Samuels and Dame Edna? Well, you can just recruit enemies to do the dirty work for you. Calm down, Edna. Yes, that's right. Dragon's Quest V added in the ability to tame monsters and have them join the party. And with over 40 available to the player, you could mistakenly think that this was an early Pokemon game in some instances. And yes, of course, that means that the humble slime was able to be recruited to your party. Now, I'm not going to say that everyone missed their chance to recruit the slime because it was probably one of the first enemies that you got to recruit, so it would be wrong for me to use that here. But there is one slime so utterly rare that he might as well be made of Slime Jesus's offshoots himself for how glorious it is to encounter one. I'm speaking, of course, about the Metal Slime. This shiny slime is only for the dedicated few, as with an incredibly low encounter rate and its stubborn nature meaning that it would rarely offer to join the party, it meant that most players only ever saw 1 or 2 across their entire adventure and likely inadvertently blew their chance to own this precious metal-coated party member. Oh, Slime Jesus, we thank you so much for the ability to have an actual slime in our party. Thank you so much, mate, you absolute ledge. But at the same time, Beelzebub definitely had a thing to say about this encounter rate, didn't he, mate? You had your eye on the ball, but you took it away for a split second and he scored an own goal. Sports joke. Number 2, Yoghurt, Shining Force, The Legacy of Great Intention. If there's one thing that the original Shining Force, The Legacy of Great Intention, loves more than long-winded and weird titles, it is party members, because there are 30 of them to recruit across this game. Not all of them are mandatory, and not all of them are created equal, but one that stands above all as the pinnacle of taking the utter pish. Well, it's got to be Yoghurt. Or Joghurt, depending on how you want to pronounce it. A literal hamster with a helmet on that you can indeed recruit to fight the forces of evil with. However, in order to do so, you're going to need to jump through some hoops, my friend, as it can be easy to progress too far and never get this little devil in your ranks. So in order to get him to join, you need to locate him in 3 areas early on in the game and then search for him in a bed. Trust me, it's as weird playing through it as it is me explaining it to you right here. You find him in a bed. And when you've done that, this little fella will join the party. Huzzah! Now we can enjoy his stats that are permanently set to 1 and who only deals 1 damage. Huzzah! Yeah, I know it doesn't sound like it's worth it, but trust me, there is a reason why you want this guy in your party. And that is because if you can kill an enemy using Joghurt, then you will get the Yoghurt ring, because that's spelt differently for some reason, which will allow you to take the form of a hamster. That's right, you can defeat the final big bad of the game as a goddamn hamster. Need I say more? Need I say more? James, need I say more?
No.
Good, because I'm not actually saying any more. And number 1, the Pariah Dog, Fallout 2. The Fallout series is one that is definitely known for its colourful and crazy characters, and the fact that many of these can actually join you as companions on your long trail into the wasteland. But while I would probably go to the ends of the earth for the likes of Rex the Cyberdog from Fallout New Vegas, or Nick Valentine from the okay at sometimes Fallout 4, there is one that I definitely would never ever want in my party, and that's the Pariah Dog from Fallout 2. He's a bad boy. In fact, the Pariah Dog sits on this list as the only party member from Fallout 2 that you do not want to recruit, as this furry fiend is nothing but bad luck. Quite literally, in fact. So the player can sometimes encounter a random scenario in which they find a mass of corpses and a rather plucky-looking pup. After assessing the area and finding the dog alone, you might actually feel relieved that nobody's old yellered this chap, and feel even better when it appears that it wants to join your party. Alright, you think to yourself as the dog runs over, all happy and glad. You've got another new set of teeth to sink into the forces of evil of the wasteland. And look, it's even broken the party member limit. So that's better. That's the most bang for your buck +1. Well, I've got some bad news, my friend, because turns out that the Pariah Dog will only join your party if you failed a luck check that happens behind the scenes, and in fact will not be your lucky day because it resets your luck skill to 1. Brilliant. This means that loot, experience points, skill checks, everything will now be susceptible to abysmal luck, ruining your chances of succeeding. Bad dog indeed. And worse still, the only way to remove the Pariah Dog from your party is to kill it. I didn't need that on my conscience, dog death, but thank you Fallout 2 for always making me feel bad. Fantastic. Oh, well, he's gone now. With a 6-iron on his hip. And there we go, my friends. Those were 7 video game party members that you only had one chance to recruit. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. Thank you so much for joining me here in the live chat. It is always a pleasure. And also let me know what you'd like to see on next week's episode down in the comments section as well. James, my friend, I know that you're probably not going to edit yourself in there, but I'll talk to you anyway, as if you were here. Thank you so much for your editing on this one. James is indeed stepping up and taking over the editing duties for Choose Your Own Adventure, so show him much love in the comments, my friend. He is a good boy indeed. He is the exact opposite of the Pariah Dog, a charming best friend. I realise that I have just compared you to a dog. That is not how I see this work relationship. Anyway, thank you very much for joining in this week, and if you'd like to chat to me further, you can do so over on Twitter at RetroJ with a 0, or you can swing by Live and Let's Dice. That's dice with a C. Loads of people have been putting in Live and Let's Die. I don't own the James Bond film. Wish I did. It'd be quite easy to do better branding. But no, it's Dice with a C. It's where I do all of my streaming outside of work, which I don't do on WhatCulture anymore, so it's the only place to see me stream. So come over there and let's have a laugh. Thank you all so much for joining me. I know that obviously the loss of Osley with him moving on has changed the sort of dynamic a little bit, but I hope that you understand that we're going to move forward, we're going to get in some new people, some new jokes, some fresh faces, new ideas and everything like that, and all will be rosy in the garden once more. But remember to treat yourself with love and respect, my friends, as we should do each and every day, because we deserve that. Let's recruit that positivity into our own party, because you're a massive ledge and you deserve all of the good things in life. As always, I've been Jules. You've been awesome. Never forget that. And I'll speak to you soon. Peace.